In today's episode, Steve asks, I'm looking for a data set of companies that are actively selling on Amazon. How would you, as a data scientist, approach this problem? Well, that's an interesting question. To my knowledge, I don't know that there are any publicly available free data sets of this source that would do this sort of thing. You'll probably end up building your own. By the way, if anyone knows of, if you know of a data set that is publicly available and free, or even if it's not and it's available and it just costs money, leave a link in the comments below if you would. For something like this, you're going to have to do a bit of legwork. You got to create your own, and what you'll have to do is first look at if you have a known subset of companies that you know for sure are selling on Amazon, then go to their websites and look for indicators that would help you classify those companies as Amazon sellers, and then build a second data set of companies that you know that are not selling on Amazon. And what you're going to do is you're looking for some specific characteristics to try and identify something in an automated fashion that indicates that, yes, this company is an Amazon seller. There are really good tools. BuiltWith is one. HubSpot, actually, HubSpot's free CRM is another, that can analyze the most common technologies being used by a company's website and provide that information to you. In fact, let's bring this up here. So this is what you see. This is inside of HubSpot. This is a company. It's based in Los Angeles. You can see it has the time zone there. And then it has a set at the bottom called Web Technologies. And you can see for this particular company, on their website, they've got Microsoft Exchange for their email, YouTube, Google Tag Manager, Facebook Advertiser, Pixel, Office 365, Adobe Analytics, Adobe DTM, WeCapture, Google Analytics, AdRoll, and Outlook. So this list of technologies here for this particular company. Now, this is not an Amazon reseller. This is just some company I picked out of the pile randomly. This company has this set of particular technologies, and these are good indicators of what their MarTech stack looks like. So from an analysis perspective, you're going to want to create a data set, 50 or 100 known Amazon sellers and 50 or 100 known non-Amazon sellers. And you're going to want to extract this data from HubSpot or from BuiltWith. Either company's data is fine. And put it together in some sort of spreadsheet, or if you want to get more sophisticated and use some of the more fancy tools like Python or R, you can certainly do that. But ultimately, what you want to do is you want to build a profile of what are the common technologies in use by an Amazon seller, what are the common technologies in use by non-Amazon sellers, and what's the difference? Is there a particular technology that predicts pretty well, or a combination of technologies that predict pretty well that a company is an Amazon seller? Are there certain things that are just dead giveaways? Like that's what this company does, or that's what this company has. For example, Amazon has tracking tags, right? There's tons of tracking tags that they offer for affiliates. Are those the ones? Is that a good indicator, or are those tags so prevalent that it's a misleading signal? You won't know until you do the data analysis, but once you have that, then you'll have the key, essentially, to being able to identify a list of companies. And then from there, you load those companies into, BuiltWith or HubSpot or whatever, just willy-nilly. And as you can see, one of the things that these tools will also do is give you a general sense, mostly for publicly traded companies, of what their annual revenue is, how many employees they have, etc. And that will really help identify and separate out these different types of companies. It is going to be a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And it's very manual work, because you have to hunt down those companies on Amazon and then equally pull together a list of other e-commerce companies that are not on Amazon. But that training data set, and you're going to want a good sample. You're going to want 50 or 100 companies in either category. That will give you a robust enough data set to see the patterns in it, to see there's a certain things that almost everybody on Amazon always uses on their websites. There may not be a pattern. That is a risk with a project like this. There may not be a pattern, but then you know that. You know that that is no longer something you can rely on, and you'll have to source the data some other way. That knowledge alone has value. That knowledge alone, even if there's not a there, that knowledge alone will tell you, okay, we know that these web technologies, or company size, or number of employees, or year they were founded, or publicly traded or not, are good or bad indicators of whether a company sells on Amazon or not as an e-commerce company. Pull the data together. Your best bet is going to be to store it in a spreadsheet initially. And ideally, what comes out of HubSpot is, I know at least for the HubSpot API, is all the technologies come out in one big text string. And one of the things you have to do is you have to separate that out into different columns, which is not a lot of fun, but it is doable. And then what I would suggest doing is turning each of those into flags. So, for example, Google Analytics is a 1 for yes, 0 for no. And then you have essentially a spreadsheet with 50 or 100 columns on it. And then for each company, you would have a field indicator like Amazon seller, yes, no, or 1, 0. And then, Google Analytics, 1, 0. Microsoft Exchange, 1, 0. YouTube, 1 or 0. That data format will let you do the analysis very quickly because you can start to add up and count the numbers of ones and zeros in each of the columns. And that will give you a much better, more robust analysis. As I said, it's going to take some time. But if you approach it with this methodology of the 50 to 100 and the things they have in common, and then the 50 to 100 that are not in your target audience and the things they have in common, and looking for the intersections between the two, you will get an answer of some kind. If you don't get that answer, then you also know that there's a pretty good chance anyone selling a list, you would have to at least grill them really well. Okay, how did you get this information? What criteria? How did you scrape the information? And if they say, well, we looked at their web technologies, and you've already done your own analysis, you can say, I did that too. I didn't find anything that was statistically relevant. And if they give you an answer like, well, it's a proprietary blend of our own technologies and stuff, it's like, no. But in talking to the people who are providing these lists as vendors, doing your own work first gives you much more depth to the questions you can ask them to qualify them as a vendor. To say, yes, that sounds like something I hadn't tried. You might be onto something. Or, I did that and I didn't see what you're seeing, so I'm not sure how reliable your data is. That way you can avoid spending a whole lot of money before without having any results to show for it. If you have follow-up questions about this, leave them in the comments box below. This is a challenging data science question. That's not really a data science question. It's a data analysis question, although having the control and having the experiment group does start to lean it towards a scientific question. It's an exploratory data analysis problem first. Is there even a there before you can form a hypothesis? And that's what this information would help you start to lean towards in terms of the data that you would need and things like that. Again, questions, leave them in the comments box below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.